Day 438. Ukrainians continued destroying Russian fuel storage facilities along all main supply lines leading to southern Ukraine. The goal of this campaign is to create massive shortages of critical resources, which will undermine the Russian ability to use the accumulated tanks and other heavy equipment to stop the Ukrainian counteroffensive. Over the last 4 days, Ukrainians conducted a lot of drone strikes, and some of them were very successful. First of all, Ukrainians successfully hit the Ilsky oil refinery for the second time. Russian sources reported that Ukrainians used at least 4 drones, and one of them reached the target and caused the fire by exploding on top of the reservoir. The fire rapidly grew and the square area reached up to 400 square meters, but this time the firefighters also managed to prevent the fire from spreading. So far, Ukrainians destroyed only 2 reservoirs, and as we can see, there are still a lot of targets in this region, which suggests that this is not the last attack on this refinery. Another fire also broke out in the Krasnodar region. The cause of the fire still remains unspecified, but the object is an oil storage facility. The square area of fire grew even bigger than on the oil refinery and reached up to 500 square meters. This is the 4th oil-related facility that has been damaged or destroyed over the last week, and all of them are located on the southern supply line, which means that it could be used for the Black Sea Fleet or the Russian equipment in Zaporizhia. Today, Ukrainians conducted another strike on the oil depot in Sevastopol. As you remember, this was the first target, and even though in the aftermath of a huge fire half of the refinery was destroyed, the freshest satellite footage indicates that there are still 12 reservoirs left that look like they could potentially be used. But the strike on Sevastopol was just a part of a much bigger strike on Crimea. The first group of drones reportedly targeted Krasnoperikopsk. This is one of the 2 most important logistical hubs in northern Crimea, because all supplies that are being delivered to the Kherson region always pass through this small town. The second most important town here is Armyansk, which Ukrainians have been targeting in the past. Today, explosions were also recorded in Chankoi, which is located on the same supply line. And Russian head of Crimea also claimed that Ukrainians accompanied the drone strike with the launch of 2 ballistic missiles Hrim-2, which were reportedly shot down above the settlements north of Feodosia, which are also located on the same supply line. The second group of drones traditionally targeted the area around Yevpatoria. The goal of these strikes is twofold. First of all, Ukrainians are trying to prevent Russians from returning the aviation to the airfield in Novofedorivka, and secondly, most of the Russian air defense is concentrated along the western shore, so continuous strikes are necessary for collecting intelligence about the most current disposition and capabilities of the Russian air defense. The third group of drones targeted Sevastopol and Gvardiyske. Even though this time Ukrainian drones did not reach the oil refinery in Sevastopol, something reportedly reached the Russian airfield in Gvardiyske. It was reported that at the moment of the explosion, the airfield had 10 fighter jets, 8 bombers, 6 air defense systems, and a lot of ammunition and fuel, so it was a perfect target. Speaking about the airfield, several days ago Ukrainians also conducted a successful drone attack on the airfield in Bryansk. As a result, Ukrainians completely destroyed one plane, An-124, and damaged the fuselage of another An-124 plane. These are very scarce and important planes that are capable of delivering 120 tons of cargo. Not only do they cost approximately $70 million, but Russians also only had 12 of them and are now down to 10. In the meantime, the panic around the Ukrainian counteroffensive in the Zaporizhia region reaches new heights. The Russian head of the region claimed that they're expecting Ukrainians to launch a large-scale attack any day now because weather conditions have improved and the ground has dried out. That is why Russians have launched the second stage of massive evacuation. If previously they evacuated people from settlements between Vasilievka and Tokmak, explaining that this is where most of the fights are expected to happen, then now evacuation was launched from all settlements between Enerhodar and Pology, clearly indicating a much greater scale of the expected battle. The massive evacuation brought disarray to the region, and some civilians reported finding thrown away military uniforms, claiming that soldiers were changing clothes and trying to take advantage of the disarray, and desert by escaping together with the civilians because they did not want to be on the zero line when the counteroffensive is launched. If you're against the invasion of Ukraine and you want to support the work that I'm doing, consider making a purchase in the online store UA Supporter. Here you can find a lot of products with Ukrainian symbols to not only show support for this channel, but also for Ukraine. The link to the online store is in the description. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next report.